What's up? What's up? Thanks for coming back through. All right, so today let's talk a little bit about what I call the purposeful misuse of footwear. Most all shoes nowadays, there's a very small section of shoes that are sort of everyman shoes. You know, the ones you find mid-range, mid-shelf, the ones you find sort of mid-tier box store, your famous footwears, your Burlington Coat Factories, your TJ Maxxes, if you will. But when it comes to wanting the highest end quality, the highest end performance, and you're not a distance runner, things get a little dicey. And even the community itself can get judgmental. I am not a distance runner, not by any stretch. I am a sprinter jumper, a master's athlete. I'm 49 years old. I'm 6'4", just over 200 pounds. I'm not your typical runner. I was a former world-class track and field athlete. When I'm looking for footwear, I can't find anything that actually fits the mold for me. And likewise, I look at some of my younger counterparts who are now competing elite for the various brands, and they are utilizing shoes with carbon fiber plates, and they're using shoes that most of us are being told are not for us. But therein lies what I say is the purposeful misuse of shoes. I've got some examples with me that are not meant for what I used them for, and they ended up being perfect. The Hoka Transport X, for example, was a phenomenal shoe for me. Still is. Now, this is supposed to be an everyday walk run shoe, supposed to be able to go day to night, but it's got some of the best Hoka tech I've ever had. I'm not a Hoka fan. I don't like their other offerings, they don't fit for me. But this one felt more like an Adidas to me, which is my favorite brand. This one felt a little closer to the new Puma Deviates, which is a phenomenal shoe in a completely different category if you let the brand dictate that. When I had a broken foot and I was coming back from injury, one of the best shoes that worked for me was something that was completely atypical to what I was supposed to be using it for. The AlphaFly Next Percent 2 was a godsend for me with my broken foot because of the support that it offered and the energy that it returned to me when my foot couldn't do that work itself. Now, I didn't do a ton of running in it. This was mostly walking for me. I got it a size big, and it fit perfectly for putting that carbon fiber plate right in the place that I needed it. It was tremendous. It was the purposeful misuse of a shoe. Ah, my absolute favorite current training shoe is the Zero Adios Pro 3. This is a phenomenal shoe, and I use it for sprints, hills, plyometrics. Again, I'm big enough to compress this shoe. I'm big enough to get some features out of this shoe that your typical distance runner cannot. They're not my size, they're not my makeup, they're not my musculature. And so I'm able to get this shoe to do some things for me because of purposeful misuse. It's tremendous. And it only goes back to say you have to get what fits for you. You have to wear what fits. You have to try some shoes out. And the opinions of us online, the opinions of others, they're great for gathering more information, but it has to be for you. Because as long as it's serving the purpose that helps you, then I don't know that anybody else can have a say in it. We speak so definitively online, and I try not to have an opinion that would sway anyone. I only try to give why I liked the shoe. It's also why I review shoes so positively, because Most times I've picked up a shoe that I'm curious about, that I want to know about. You've heard me say that before. It gets that kind of review from me because I'm intrigued, because I want to know more, because I want you all to start to form your own opinions, and I want you to know the opinion that I had. You know, this shoe is what made me think about it. Right now, I just got back from hill runs and a subsequent mile walk after my hill runs for cool down. I do my French lesson while I'm on my walk, but I ran a mile worth of hills before going on another 1.5 mile walk. And these shoes allowed me to perform on concrete, not have any shin splints, not have any foot pressure issues because of my size, my weight, the surface. This shoe democratized the surface. And it didn't have to be super specific to being a miler, being a marathoner. Now, I know that's what they're made for. Shh, don't tell Adidas that I used them wrong. But they work. They work for me. There's some things I would do differently. There's some things I'm curious about. I would love to get the Prime X Strung 1 to compare and contrast, to see if this one is a little bit overblown, to see if this one needed the changes that were made. However, I've been in this shoe 3 weeks now, and I absolutely love it. But again, it works for me and what I'm using it for. Now, there are plenty of shoes in the collection that did not make the cut or that had their usage changed. Here we go. For example, the Kip Run KD 900X. This shoe was super curious to me, and I was in France when I got it. I had to have it. I had to try it out. This shoe is stiffer than I had originally anticipated. It's not at all as cushioned and soft as the others that I had shown, but that doesn't mean that it didn't have a purpose. Because of the fit, because of the carbon fiber plate, and because of its stiffness, I'm able to actually lift in this shoe. This happens to be my favorite shoe to go to the gym, get a little bit of a warm up because I can run in it, and then get to lifting because of its stable platform. It's more stable than most shoes that I put on. Now, it doesn't look like it should be. That's not the rules by way of the brand and the running community. But for me, it works. All of that to say, find what works for you. It never fails. It never fails. They're coming this way too. Are they turning down my street? I hope everybody's safe. Find what works for you. Use it to the best of your ability. Take in all the information that you can. The advice of others, the advice of the community at large. But if it works for you, then it can't be wrong, right? We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming through. Peace.